For this technique you will need 2 adjustable loops and an XL plate for the tibial side. The semitendinosus graft is harvested using a conventional closed stripper technique, with meticulous attention paid to preserving its tibial insertion. Any remaining muscle fibers are carefully removed to ensure a clean graft. Button F is sutured to the free end of the semitendinosus, after being folded for approximately 2 cm using a whipstitch suture. Care is taken not to jam the button. The graft is tightened by pulling on button F, and then it is passed through the loop of button T. The right hand is threaded through the loop of button F, to reach button T, while the left hand grasps button F. Both hands are crossed, and the buttons are swapped by uncrossing the hands. The graft is folded once more into 3 strands, with button F positioned at the top for the femoral tunnel and button T at the bottom for the tibial tunnel. The previous steps may be repeated if the graft is of sufficient length to create a 4th strand. The graft is sized. To maintain a tubulated graft, a loose loop can be made on the femoral side of the graft, with a 2.0 absorbable thread, facilitating the passage of the graft during ascent through the femoral tunnel. The graft must be able to slide. And the final adjustment of the graft length will be made later according to the length of the tunnels, by pulling more or less on the 2 endobuttons. The graft is soaked with vancomycin and placed in the muscle compartment. Classic anteromedial and anterolateral portals are made, and a diagnostic arthroscopy is performed to assess any meniscal or chondral lesion. An ACL tibial guide, set at 55 degrees, is utilized and placed on the tibial footprint. The guide pin is drilled to the joint, followed by the use of incrementally sized reamers until the desired graft size is achieved. The femoral tunnel is drilled using an inside-out technique. A 4.5 mm cannulated reamer is then inserted to drill the path for the femoral button, with the reamer serving as a gauge for the femoral tunnel length. And a blind 25 mm long femoral tunnel is drilled. To prevent femoral button incarceration in the iliotibial band, an additional 5 mm is added to length C and marked on the femoral button wire. The XL button is fixed to the tibial button. The graft is shuttled from the tibial to the femoral tunnel under arthroscopic control. Once the femoral button has passed the femoral cortex, it is flipped by pulling the 2 wires and drawn back from the tibial side to press against the femoral cortex. The femoral strands of the femoral button are pulled until the graft is fully seated in the femoral tunnel. Under arthroscopic guidance, the surgeon monitors the progression of the graft in the femoral tunnel. The graft is pulled through the tibial socket after tensioning the XL tibial button. Care is taken to prevent soft tissue interposition between the tibial cortex and the tibial button. The graft is tensioned in full extension after cycling movements, and then re-tensioned for optimal fixation. The adjustable loop allows for an equitable distribution of the tensile forces among the strands without compressing the graft.